Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. This time we are going far, far away to India to explore how telemedicine is being used for livestock.
It is a fascinating thing. We are seeing high technology being combined with very traditional farming practices.
It's true, like a blend of old and new.
Yeah.
We'll be looking at this in-depth report from NITI Aayog. They're like India's top policy think tank.
Yes.
They created a whole framework for telemedicine and how it can be used for livestock health and safety.
Yes, they have.
We'll break it all down together.
I was amazed when I was reading this report, the sheer scale of how big livestock farming is in India.
Like, how big are we talking?
Livestock contribute over 30% of India's total agricultural output.
30%. So like a third of the food that's on our plates is thanks to how these animals are doing.
Yeah. And it's not just the economics. For millions of farmers in India, their livestock is super important.
Yep.
It's their livelihood. It's a safety net for them, especially when there are droughts or their crops fail. It's their food security. It's part of their cultural identity.
It's really the fabric of their lives. I get it. But if it's so vital, what are some of the problems that Indian farmers are facing with their livestock?
Well, one of the biggest ones is that there is a serious lack of vets.
Yeah, the report mentioned that, like there's not enough veterinary care available.
Yeah. There's a huge gap between the number of animals and the number of vets that are available to take care of them.
Can you quantify that gap for me? Like, put some numbers to it.
So India actually needs over 100,000 veterinary institutions to properly care for all their livestock. And we're talking about over 53 crore animals.
Wait, crore. Sorry, I'm not familiar with
A
it.
crore is 10 million.
Okay. So you're saying that India needs over 100,000 veterinary institutions to take care of over 530 million animals.
Yes.
Wow. And how many vets are there now?
Well, there's a shortage of over 41,000 veterinary institutions.
So there are a ton of places in India where farmers can't get veterinary care for their animals.
Yeah, that's right.
What kind of effect does that have on the farmers?
It's a big deal. Without the proper care, farmers have a much higher risk of losing their animals to diseases that could have been prevented.
Yeah.
They could see their milk production go down, which means less income for them. And of course, no farmer wants to see their animals suffering. Delays in treatment can be very costly, both financially and for the animals themselves.
It's a huge problem.
Right.
But that's where telemedicine comes in. It's a potential solution to bridge that gap between animals and the vets who could care for them.
Right.
Basically, virtual vet visits.
Yes, like consultations by video calls. Farmers can even send photos of things like skin conditions to get diagnosed. There's even technology that can monitor animals remotely.
So it's like bringing the vet right to the farm. Virtually, of course. And this is a huge deal for farmers who are in remote areas and can't get to a vet easily.
Exactly. And not just that, diagnoses and treatment can happen more quickly, which saves lives and money.
Yeah.
Also, each animal can have a digital health record, which can help manage their care long term.
That's fantastic. It's like a revolution in livestock healthcare in India.
It is.
Can you give me an example of how this might work? A real-life scenario.
Sure. Let's say a farmer in a very small village in Kerala. He notices that his cow has weird lesions on her skin.
Okay.
Well, instead of spending a ton of money and time traveling to the closest veterinary clinic, he could just take a photo of the cow's skin with his cell phone.
And then what? Email it to a vet.
Even easier, he could just upload it to a special platform called NITIVeT.
NITIVeT? I'm guessing that's short for something.
Yes, it's the name for a telemedicine platform developed by NITI Aayog specifically for this purpose.
What happens?
NITIVeT connects farmers with vets real time.
Okay.
So our farmer in Kerala, he could send the photo of his cow to a vet who specializes in skin conditions, a vet who might even be in a completely different state.
Oh, wow. So even if there are no vets nearby, they can get expert help.
Yes.
But what if the farmer doesn't speak the same language as the vet?
That's a good question, but the people who designed NITIVeT thought of that. It's available in multiple languages: English, Hindi, Gujarati.
Oh, wait.
They're even working on putting in voice assistants to help farmers who can't read very well.
That's amazing. But with so many animals in India, how can they keep track of all that health data? I mean, how do they organize it?
Well, they have this very unique system in India. It's called Pashu Aadhaar. It's basically a national ID for every animal.
You're kidding. Every animal in India has an ID.
Yes. And here's the best part. NITIVeT is actually integrated with Pashu Aadhaar.
What does that mean?
It means that when a farmer uses the NITIVeT platform, they can link their animal's medical record to their unique ID.
Oh, wow.
It's seamless tracking of everything. This is going to help them manage disease and keep the herds healthy.
That's incredible. India is really leading the way with using technology to help livestock.
Mm.
But I know there has to be some downsides, right?
Oh, of course. No technology is perfect. Some people are worried about how accurate the diagnoses can be when the vet can't actually examine the animal.
Right.
There's less hands-on interaction and the potential for miscommunication or technical problems.
What does the report say about that?
Well, they are very thorough and they have a framework for how to handle these problems. They know it's important to have very clear guidelines for the vets and to get permission from the animal's owner before doing anything.
Yeah.
And they want to have a really strong national platform for all this data so everything is organized and secure. They even have a way to handle complaints.
Grievance redressal mechanisms, right?
Yes. It's just a fancy way to say they want to make it really easy for farmers to report any problems they have.
They are being thorough.
Transparency is key, and they want farmers to feel confident using this new technology.
They're building a whole support system, not just throwing technology at them and hoping for the best. But are other countries facing these same challenges?
Oh, absolutely. What India is doing is really impressive. But these problems are everywhere. All over the world, farmers are dealing with not enough vets, disease outbreaks, and how to keep their food supply safe.
So India could be a model for the rest of the world.
Absolutely. The things they're doing and the lessons they're learning could be incredibly valuable for other countries. If they share their knowledge, we can see this technology adopted globally.
Think about how powerful that would be. Farmers and vets all over the world are sharing knowledge and working together to keep animals healthy.
It's an exciting possibility. And we're really just getting started. But to get a glimpse of what the future holds for telemedicine in this area,
You'll have to wait until after the break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
So before we went to break, we were talking about the future of telemedicine for livestock. And it's really quite remarkable.
Okay, I'm ready. You were teasing some pretty amazing stuff. What kind of innovations are we talking about here?
Well, one that is super promising is wearable sensors combined with artificial intelligence. So imagine each animal on a farm wearing a sensor that's tracking everything,
Like what kind of things?
like heart rate, their temperature, even how active they are.
So it's like a Fitbit, but for a cow.
Yeah, exactly. And all this data can then be analyzed using AI.
I can see how that would be useful for a farmer.
It's more than just useful, it can really change things. We're talking about predicting potential health problems before they're even noticeable to us.
So you could actually prevent diseases before they even happen. That's amazing, especially for
Yes.
farms that have a lot of animals.
Exactly. And that's not all. Sensors could help farmers know how much to seed their animals, when to breed them. You can even track how they behave. All this could lead to healthier animals, more productivity, and more sustainable farming.
Wow. It's like taking the guesswork out of farming and making it all about data.
Yes.
But wouldn't all those sensors be super expensive? Especially for farmers in countries that are still developing.
That's a good point. But the good news is that sensor technology is becoming cheaper all the time.
That makes sense.
As more and more people use them, they'll become more affordable. Kind of like how smartphones used to be a luxury item.
And now everyone has one. But let's move past sensors for a minute. What other cool technologies are on the horizon?
Well, this one might sound like something out of a sci-fi movie, but I think virtual and augmented reality will become really important for vets.
VR. Really?
Yeah, imagine a vet being able to visit a farm virtually using a VR headset.
So they would be sitting in their office, but it would be like they're actually on the farm.
Yes, and they could talk to the farmer, see the animals from all angles, even touch them virtually.
Wow. That's wild. But what about if the animal needs actual treatment? You can't do that with VR.
Right. But a lot of times the vet can at least give advice and expert help even if they can't be there in person.
So it's kind of like having a consultant on call at all times, especially helpful in remote areas where vets are hard to find. What about augmented reality? What could that do?
Well, AR could provide real-time information to vets as they're looking at an animal,
What kind of information?
like the animal's medical history, their vital signs, even anatomical diagrams right on top of the real animal.
It's like giving the vet X-ray vision.
It's about making sure they have as much information as possible, no matter where they are.
I like it.
And, it could also be used for teaching veterinary students in countries that maybe don't have the best schools.
So not just helping animals, but sharing knowledge all over the world. That's powerful.
Hmm.
But I have to ask, are there any downsides? Anything we should be worried about?
Yeah, it's important to think about the ethics of all this. As we get more and more data on animals, we have to make sure that information is kept safe and used for the right reasons.
Like, we wouldn't want people to misuse this data for profit or to exploit animals.
Exactly. We need strong security and clear rules. The goal is to use this tech to help animals and farmers.
Are there any other potential downsides?
Well, I think we have to be careful not to rely too much on technology. Telemedicine should just be a tool to help vets do their jobs better, not replace them completely.
I agree. We can't lose that personal connection.
There's no substitute for examining an animal in person and building a good relationship with the farmer. We have to find the right balance. And of course, you never know. There could always be unforeseen consequences.
That's true of any new technology. But it does feel like the good outweighs the bad here. Wouldn't you agree?
I think so. We could see some incredible improvements in animal health, help empower farmers, and create a food system that's better for everyone and for the planet.
It's really quite amazing, all this innovation happening with telemedicine and livestock. It's a good reminder that technology can solve some of our biggest problems, even in places we wouldn't expect, like rural farms.
I agree. And this is just the beginning. We can expect even more amazing things to come.
We've covered a lot of ground here, from what's happening now in India to the possibilities of AI and VR and AR. But what does it all mean for the future of food and for our planet?
That's a great question, and the perfect lead into the final part of our deep dive.
That's right. We're about to go global. Stay with us. So we've talked about how telemedicine can help livestock in India. But how does this all connect to the bigger picture? The future of food and the health of our planet?
It's a good question. It's definitely bigger than just helping animals on individual farms. We could actually see whole food systems transforming and some of our biggest global problems being solved.
Okay, I'm listening. How could helping livestock in India affect the global food supply?
Well, healthier animals are just better at producing food.
Right.
They produce more meat, milk, and eggs, and they do it using less resources. So that means we can feed more people more affordably.
So if we prevent diseases and keep animals healthy, we get more food without needing more land or resources.
Exactly. And it helps the environment too.
Oh, yeah. Livestock farming can be pretty bad for the environment, right?
It is a big contributor to greenhouse gases, deforestation, and pollution. But if we can improve the health and efficiency of livestock farming, we can make it much more sustainable.
So telemedicine could actually make livestock farming better for the planet.
Absolutely. Think about it. If we can keep track of animal health all over the world, use data to figure out the best ways to feed them, reduce waste, and stop diseases from spreading,
That would be incredible.
it would really change how sustainable our food systems are.
It's amazing that something as simple as a virtual vet visit could make such a big difference. Can you give me some specific examples? Like, how could telemedicine make a real difference for a sustainable food future?
One big one is disease outbreaks. With telemedicine, we could have a worldwide network of farms and vets,
Okay.
and we could see exactly how diseases are spreading in real time, which means we can respond faster and stop them from getting out of control.
That's so important, especially with all the zoonotic diseases we hear about now. The ones that can spread from animals to humans.
Right. We could stop outbreaks before they even start, which would be huge for keeping people and animals safe.
Are there other benefits for the food system?
Well, it can help us adapt to climate change, too. The weather is becoming more unpredictable, so farmers need new ways to manage their livestock. Telemedicine can give them the information they need in real time.
So they can make the best decisions even when the weather is crazy.
Exactly. And let's not forget animal welfare. Faster access to care, less stressful transport, and the ability to check on animals more frequently means we can make sure they're treated well no matter where they are.
It all ties together. Animal health, food for everyone, a healthier planet, and happy animals. Telemedicine seems like a solution to so many problems.
It really does. It shows how one innovation can create positive changes across whole systems.
It's been a really fascinating deep dive. We started with telemedicine for livestock in India, and we've ended up talking about the future of food and the planet.
It's all connected.
I'm really blown away by all this information. For everyone listening, if you ever hear about something that seems small, like telemedicine for cows, remember, it might actually be a part of something much, much bigger. We're all trying to solve these problems together.
You're right. And who knows, maybe the technology that's helping cows in India will one day help create a healthier and better future for everyone.
That's a great note to end on. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive, everybody.